Hey folks, just thought I'd throw another short video together. My buddy Dustin over in America was asking about how you do a knife edge mix in Ethos, and I didn't know if there were any good videos about it. I thought, well, rather than look, I'd just try and make my own version of a good video. So anyways, we're just going to get straight into it. First I should explain what a knife edge mix is. Usually with an aerobatic model, when you apply, say for example, right rudder with left wing down knife edge, the model will have a slight inclination to roll back level. And so you'll want to counteract this with just a little bit of opposite aileron. At the same time, there is going to be a slight pitching action happening where the front of the aircraft kind of lifts a bit. I'm sure actually my hand probably didn't help much, but it'll want to pitch a bit to the canopy, so you also want to apply a tiny bit of down elevator. This mixing is something you'll see all pro modelers do, and you'll even see guys like me do it, because it makes running a straight knife edge down the runway a heck of a lot easier if you just add that 1-2% mix that most of these planes need. Anyways, I've spent too long explaining it. Let's get into how to do it. So we're going to go to our model screen. I'm going to go to Mixer. You're going to see I've just got a generic 2 aileron servo setup going on here. We're going to double tap, add mix. So as we can see, we've got all of our crazy mixes here. We want to work first. Let's do the rudder aileron because that's the easiest one. So we're going to tap on, we're going to tap on first position. Now, always on is generally what I want to do. And I don't really feel the need to switch this on and off. If you do, you can always set an active condition. Simple as that, just selecting the switch to where you want, disabled, enabled. That's your call, but when I set up a mix like this, I've never felt the need to turn it off. It's just something that's always there. So as you can see, this is quite aggressive at the moment. You'd never really see a knife edge mix like this. Maybe it might get a bit more aggressive with something like a Bushmaster or something like that, but it's pretty unlikely. So what you're going to want to do is bring that weight down, and 2%, that's probably good. Now you're going to realize here that it's covering both channels if we scroll down a bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring that down for both channels. So in this case, it's moving both the servos 2% in their positive or negative direction. This should be correct for your conventional twin servo aileron setup. Should you have something really strange, you may want to set one of these values to a negative to achieve what you want, but that's probably a pretty rare occurrence. Now to add to this, say you've got a 4 aileron servo plane, you've got a 35% model, you're going to find that you're going to have 4 servos here. So you'll have aileron 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you'll naturally have to apply that value to each channel. So yeah, that's a real simple one to get going with. So now we're going to move on to the one which is maybe what could be considered a tiny bit more complicated. So we're going to add mix again, and now this time we want to do rudder elevator. We go first position again, and so it's in there already. In this model I've actually only got 1 elevator servo set up, but that's fine. It's the same deal as when you're dealing with the ailerons. If you've got multiple, you set that value for each servo. So now we're going to play with this. So now I'm going to go on my imaginary model in front of us. We're going to watch that cursor. I'm going to apply right rudder, and we get up elevator. And I'm going to apply left rudder, and we get down elevator. Okay, that quite clearly will not work for us, because we don't want that. We want a bit of down elevator when the rudder moves in both directions. So what we need to do is we need to turn this line into a V shape. So this is really simple to do in Ethos. What we're going to do is we're going to click this drop down menu. We're going to go add curve, and we've got a normal curve from negative 100 to positive 100, positive 100. Now we're going to make a custom curve. I'm using the cursor because it's kind of easier. You can see what the highlighted thing is there. We're going to drop that back to 3. You can obviously use 5 points if that works for you. There may be a time where you want the amount of mixing to taper off. I've used this before, but we'll leave that out of the scope of this video. So now we're going to add this up to 100. We're going to leave the center where it is. We don't want to change that. And we're going to move this up to 100. That's it. We've now got our V-shaped curve that we were looking for. And now the same effect is applied to the elevator when we move the rudder in both directions. And that's it. It's that simple to get going with knife edge mixers in Ethos. Anyways, won't hold you any longer. If this has been helpful, I'd really appreciate if you share the video around, etc., etc. I think on YouTube you're supposed to say that kind of crap at the end of a video. But yeah, thanks for your time. I hope this has been helpful.